Two Gun Kitty, the Catnip Outlaw here, and today I'd like to talk about universal background checks. A lot of people, both pro and anti-gun, really don't know what it means. It sounds good to some, and other people think it's the end of the world. I've been in one state, New Mexico, that incorporated it about a year and a half ago or so, maybe 2 years ago. And does it do anything? Not really. Doesn't prohibit any sales, and it's very hard to enforce. What it basically means is that all gun transactions of any sort need to go through a background check. So if you do a private sale, you're supposed to take it to an FFL, they run the background check. If you're at a gun show and you used to maybe have a private seller there that they have to now do a background check. I think most immediate family members you can do without doing it, but that would something you'd have to look at your state laws. I know New Mexico, I think the immediate family members were excluded from it. So first and foremost, if you do have it in the state, know your law and exactly how it is read. But basically, especially on these states doing it, it's not enforceable. They have no clue when that firearm was actually really purchased. So if they passed a law today, any gun that was purchased before today, if you did a transaction without going through a background check, there's no way they can figure that out. You can just do a fake bill of sale and date it 2 years ago. They wouldn't know. There's no way they can track that. So a lot of it is kind of how you approach it. In New Mexico, I think 28 of the 32 counties are Second Amendment sanctuary, so they don't even enforce the universal background check. So people will do private sales. They'll say, I'll meet you over in a different, like Sandoval County instead of Bernalillo County, which will enforce it. So that's the way a lot of people get around it and feel that they're not breaking the law. But basically, they could do it in any county as long as you're not involved in a sting operation. They don't know. That's the biggest problem. They have no clue. It's just one of these laws that I think makes them feel good and sound good that we're doing something, but doesn't do anything to stop crime. And all it does is pose an obstacle of sale for people who want to try and follow the law. And I think a lot of people just kind of flip the bird to it and do what they want. And then you get, on the other hand, a lot of people have no clue that it is a law. There's times I've mentioned stuff to people and you'll see an ad and they don't know that they're breaking the law the way they're advertising that item. Or if you tell them that, oh, we have to do a background check, they're like, oh, didn't know we had to. So a lot of people don't know the laws. So in New Mexico, like I said, a lot of people will not, they'll just move the sale over to a different county they know is not going to follow it. So basically the law is worthless. And like I said, it doesn't stop a criminal from doing what they're going to do. So it doesn't, all it does is penalize law-abiding people. So I think we're going to see a push for it on the federal level. It matters for people who care. People who don't care, they'll still do their transactions without doing a background check. Are they criminals? No, they just either don't know or they're so fed up with it they don't care. It's like, I know my neighbor next door. I know he's not a felon. And you're comfortable selling them the firearm. Should you have to go through that headache and the extra cost. You know, a lot of people just aren't going to do it. Or you get a sister who needs a firearm for protection. You know, you have to go through a hassle to give it to them. So universal background checks, like I say, they sound worse than what they are. And in the end, it's very tough to enforce. It just makes the politicians sound like we're doing something when they're not really doing anything. And, you know, I think we're going to see a push on it this year on the federal level, because it's one of those laws that Republicans will sell you out and say, well, it's common sense, or, you know, they think it's a good alternative to some other radical thing that they compromised on. They shouldn't be compromising on any rights. Because like I say, how many gun laws actually do anything to stop crime? You know, is one more that that's not well thought out and doesn't really do anything? Does that help stop crime? No. It just prohibits law-abiding people from doing lawful transactions. You know, that's the biggest frustration. Is doesn't affect criminals, it affects good people. So if you do hear, you know, the talk of it, you know, email, write, call, even visit your representatives and senators and, you know, get in their ear. Don't wait for gun rights groups to do it. You know, we got to do it. I know, there's all kind of legislation coming up in Texas, both pro and anti-gun. You know, so I sent my emails off to my local representatives, you know, telling them, you know, specifically, you know, help out with the constitutional carry that's being proposed and some other pro-gun bills, and do not support any anti-gun legislation that is proposed. And you got to make your voice heard. I know it's frustrating with all the stuff that we've gone through over the last few months, but, you know, you still got to do something. You can't just sit back and say, it doesn't matter. Because, you know, if you do nothing, then it doesn't matter. You know, so, Two Gun Kitty, signing off.